What if you woke up tomorrow and a country had simply vanished from the map? It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it has happened before many times throughout history. Imagine a superpower like the Soviet Union or an ancient kingdom like Prussia completely gone. But how does this happen? And what does it mean for the people left behind? Welcome to Daily Breakout, today's video, where we'll dive into the fascinating world of countries that no longer exist. Throughout history, nations have risen to power only to fall due to wars, colonization, or political upheavals. Some of these countries were once major players on the world stage, while others quietly faded away, their names now remembered only in history books. But why do countries disappear? And what happens to the people, the cultures, and the identities that once thrived within those borders? Understanding how and why certain nations have vanished is key to uncovering the ripple effects these disappearances had on global politics, economies, and even modern borders. Let's begin with one of the most well-known examples, the Soviet Union. For nearly 70 years, it was a superpower that dominated global politics. But in 1991, amid economic collapse and political unrest, the Soviet Union dissolved into 15 independent countries, changing the course of history in Europe and beyond. Next, we have Yugoslavia. In the Balkans, Yugoslavia was home to several ethnic groups living under one flag. But in the early 1990s, ethnic tensions and civil wars tore the country apart, leading to the creation of new nations like Serbia, Croatia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Its dissolution was not only a geopolitical event, but a tragedy for millions caught in the conflict. Then there's Czechoslovakia, a unique case where dissolution came peacefully. In 1993, the Czech Republic and Slovakia amicably parted ways, proving that not all dissolutions lead to conflict. It's a rare example of a peaceful transition from one country into two. One of the more powerful European states in the past, Prussia, vanished after the end of World War II. Once a militaristic powerhouse in Europe, Prussia's lands were divided between Germany, Poland, and Russia. Its disappearance reshaped the political landscape of Europe in the 20th century. And let's not forget the Kingdom of Hawaii. This once proud and independent monarchy in the Pacific was annexed by the United States in 1898. What was once a thriving kingdom turned into America's 50th state, leaving many native Hawaiians feeling the effects of this sudden and lasting change. Lastly, let's talk about Korea, or rather, Korea as a unified country. Korea existed as a single kingdom for over 1,000 years. However, after World War II, it was divided into North Korea and South Korea along the 38th parallel, each with drastically different political ideologies. To this day, the Korean peninsula remains divided, with ongoing tensions and very different nations occupying what was once a unified land. But perhaps the most dramatic and globally impactful case is the split of Korea. After World War II, the Korean peninsula was divided into two countries, North Korea and South Korea. What followed was the Korean War, where family members found themselves on opposite sides of a brutal conflict. North Korea became an isolated communist state, while South Korea developed into a thriving democracy. To this day, the Korean people remain divided, with no clear path to reunification. The consequences of this division are still felt today, with both countries existing under the looming threat of conflict and the hope for a peaceful future. The annexation of Hawaii is another dramatic case. The kingdom, which had its own monarchy and rich cultural history, was annexed by the United States in 1898 despite opposition from the Hawaiian people. The swift and forced transformation of Hawaii from an independent nation into a U.S. territory and eventually a state was a painful process for many native Hawaiians, who still seek recognition of their unique heritage today. These vanished countries teach us important lessons about the fragility of nations and the impact of political, social, and economic forces. From the superpower collapse of the Soviet Union to the tragic division of Korea and the erasure of Prussia, each story reminds us that nothing is permanent and change is constant. Now, what do you think? Are there other countries you know of that have disappeared from the map? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our next video where we explore more intriguing moments from history. Until next time.